All right, judges, you can hop off the screen now while Robert tees up our next
and last.
Next and last.
Certainly not least.
Not least.
No, definitely not. Nothing that we've seen so far falls into least. Luis Gonzalez will be presenting Virtue with dancers David Wright, Jillian Price, and Kellie Fulton. Luis, the floor is yours.
Thanks. My name is Luis Gonzalez, and I want to give you an inside look into what the last couple of months have been like for the dancers of the Orlando Ballet. We kicked off 2020 with a brand new building, dancing incredible rep, and probably in the best shape we've been in all season. Then the virus hit. Since then there's been nothing but worldwide uncertainty, violence, injustice, and civil unrest, all keeping us from living the life we chose. When a man is denied the right to live the life he believes in, he has no choice but to become an outlaw. The clip you're about to see is the journey of 3 different characters who find themselves denied of their chosen lives, and consequently find ways to transcend their confines by finding light and catharsis through movement.
I'm lost in the dark. Where is the spark for my love? I'm lost in the night, holding the light of my love. The heavens opened and closed, as well I might have supposed. And I am left in this abandon, so far removed from all that I had planned on. My days have grown so lonely, for I have lost my one and only. My pride has been humbled, but I'm his body and soul. I was a mere sensation. My house of cards had no foundation, although it has tumbled, but I'm his body and soul.
Thank you, dancers. The full piece would stay musically in the jazz genre and further dive into the stories that were presented in the clip you just saw, potentially introducing some other characters. Because the circumstances in the narrative are current and relevant to many who are living them, the piece will lend itself well to marketing, I think. It would also be very cost effective because, as you can see, it doesn't require much investment towards wardrobe or sets. This piece, I believe, deserves to be explored further because the world has no shortage of confines. Work that explores transcendence of difficulties can help people get back in touch with their joy, which is in itself an act of resistance. Thank you.
I'm feeling joy right now. Thank you
Great.
so much.
You're so welcome.
And it didn't rain on isolation.
Thank God. Yeah.
Judges, do we have some questions?
I have more of a comment versus a question. I was
Brian.
absolutely smitten with the fact that the use of the spaces and each one that was so different, you know, to really incorporate that couch and then to incorporate the bed. I mean, the level of thought that's going into how your dancers are going to move in those spaces and incorporate all of that into their space for your work was brilliant to me. So well done.
Thank you so much. That was one of the things that really I found so stimulating about this project, actually, because it challenged us to think so outside the box in terms of the limitations that we had. And so, for example, David was in Indianapolis while I was choreographing it, and there were riots outside and it wasn't safe for him to go outside. So I had to incorporate that and like use it. So a lot of it was really kind of conversational with the dancers as to, we have COVID, we have riots going on outside, there's so many things happening, and I felt like it was important to just kind of like make it a part of the story in a way, you know. Thank you.
Next question.
Luis.
Hi, Mikey.
Hi. So good to see you. You're so intelligent and you've thought through this amazing theory, but where does this connect with that incredible message you said that resonates so now in our lives with the protest and all that you said, that you commented that, you know, a man is, you know, he gets pushed to this point where if he wasn't given the rights, he'll go into.
Right. So that quote was really what inspired the whole piece for me. It's a quote by Nelson Mandela that he was speaking about apartheid. And he was speaking about how people of color, obviously in South Africa during apartheid, didn't have the ability to live the lives that they chose because of their color. So obviously this piece isn't only about that situation, but there are so many things in a person's life that can feel like they're denying you of your chosen life. And for me, the piece was sort of a metaphor to talk about how life can feel very confining at times, but there's always a way to transcend the confines, even if it feels like everything is against you. And like how it kind of starts as a revolution of looking inside and then finding it within yourself how to break through, even if it feels like you can't, you know.
Excellent. Next question.
How was it the challenge of having when it was unison? I'm really curious.
Yes. Well, that was more of a technical component, which we had a lot of help from Tim, which was wonderful. It was all like playing around with the Zoom settings and finding out how to feed the music through the right platform so that the latency was such that everybody would be hearing it at the same time, and then just kind of crossing your fingers and praying to God that it wasn't going to freeze on anybody. But yeah, all of that, we definitely learned so much throughout this whole process. It's been some days we had so much information, it was like we needed like a week to process, but it's all been, we've done our best to definitely soak it all up and use it in the process.
That's great. Nice to see you.
Robert, you looked like you had a question.
No, I'm good. We can save it for the end.
Okay, great. Well, I can say, can you believe you did all this in 2 weeks, Luis?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I did not know what to expect. And then definitely throughout the process, there were some moments where I was like, oh, what am I gonna do? But it was, like I said, like in the piece, the confines were almost like stimulating to innovate further, and it just like pushes you to a place that you didn't know you didn't even know existed, like that you didn't even know was a thing that you could go to. So it's been really fulfilling in its own right, because I feel like I've learned so much just in attempting to do some of the things that even I didn't end up going for, but it's been great. It's been a really wonderful process. So thank you guys so much for that.
I just want to read something you texted me last night, Luis, and we were talking about this whole process. And you said, it almost feels like I'm finishing one of my college courses.
It does. Yeah, we were talking with Kate about that. Actually.
Right.
In 2 weeks, who needs a whole semester?
Right, exactly.
Actually,
And now Robert's thinking, wow, my dancers, they're like beyond just dancing. I mean, what they can come up with, these young people, huh, Robert?
Completely. I mean, I have to say though that Tim is so generous with his information, and so the amount of information is phenomenal. And I don't know how you continue to channel it the way you do, Tim, but sharing all of that with all of us has just been phenomenal.
Well, as they said earlier, we fail forward, and we fall on our faces a lot too while we're figuring this out.
Well, you know, as we were going along, and we were, I want everything to be right. And when you and Jonathan finally said, look, it's okay, we're going to make mistakes. This is our first time doing it, and made it okay that we may make mistakes. I think everybody settled in a little bit easier. You know, it was great. So.
Well, speaking of that, we now need to bring back our first piece, because we were not able to show it online in all of its glory. And I want for